Welcome to the Wicked Webs We Weave podcast. I am your host, Ryan Mckern. Today is August 29th, 2024, and on this somber day in Louisiana, in the Gulf South, we pay our respects. Join me now as we talk about the New Orleans Hurricane Katrina Memorial at Charity Hospital Cemetery in New Orleans. Photographs included in this video by Infragment. The location of this cemetery on Canal Street, spanning out Baker Street, is in close proximity to Cypress Grove and St. Patrick's cemeteries. This graveyard houses thousands of indigent dead who died in Charity Hospital. In the span of 4 days in September of 1847, Charity Hospital was obtained the corpses of 87 persons, the main cause of death being yellow fever. When the new Charity Hospital was constructed in 1937, earth from the digging for foundations was transported to the hospital cemetery, allowing the land to be raised several feet. This allowed the graves to be safe from flooding. The Katrina Memorial was built on the site of this hospital cemetery in 2007. The memorial address is 5050 Canal Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, 70119. For more information, contact the Louisiana State Department of Health and Hospitals, www.dhh.louisiana.gov. And I would also like to thank SaveOurCemeteries.org also for this information. Charity Hospital is an iconic institution in the history of New Orleans, and at the time of its closure in 2015, one of the longest-lasting public institutions in the United States. Both Charity Hospital and its cemeteries are indelibly linked to the changed landscape of the city after Hurricane Katrina. Originally traced to the colonial period and operated by various charitable initiatives. The first Charity Hospital was placed in the Vieux Carré in 1736. In the period from 1747 to 1815, the hospital moved to Toulouse Street and Rampart, then to Conti and Bazin Streets near today's Lady Guadalupe Church, and finally to Baronne Street and University Place in 1834. It moved one last time to its present-day location, soon to be operated by the Sisters of Charity, and was run as a medical school operated by the state of Louisiana until its closure in 2015. Charity Hospital continued to see patients during the function as a medical school and included 1,000 beds by 1850 to accommodate the need for burial space, especially for indigent population of New Orleans, that the hospital treated. Charity Hospital secured 2 tracts of land, Charity Hospital Cemetery No. 1 in 1847 on the riverside of Bayou Metairie, and Charity Hospital Cemetery No. 2 in 1849 on the lakeside of Bayou Metairie, just adjacent to Cypress Grove Cemetery. The effects of stormwaters from the levee breaches caused by Hurricane Katrina in 2005 damaged the interior of the hospital. After almost a decade of debate about what to do with the building, the state had finally begun construction on a new facility called the University Medical Center, UMC. The closure of Charity Hospital after Hurricane Katrina's aftermath caused much public outcry. Among many reasons was that its closure caused a rupture to its legacy and rupturing the treatment of the area's marginalized populations. While Charity Hospital remained shuttered during the first years of the recovery effort, Charity Hospital Cemetery No. 1 became the site for the Hurricane Katrina Memorial. This memorial serves as the final resting place to the 86 people who died during the storm, whose bodies remained unclaimed or unidentified, as well as a memorial dedicated to 1,100 people who died in and around New Orleans due to the effects and after effects of the storm. The money to construct the memorial was provided by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, with donations of up to $100,000 from the Funeral Service Foundation, part of the National Funeral Directors Association. This association created the momentum for the creation of the monument and the final burial of the unclaimed bodies by the 3rd anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, August 29, 2008. The monument consists of mausoleums arranged in a spiral, using the shape of the hurricane to create a meditative labyrinth and a healing space for reflection. To quote a portion of the words inscribed On the monument, archaeological monitoring was required at Charity Hospital No. 1 during the construction of the memorial. Although the majority of the memorial was designed to be above ground, surface grading and excavation of select post holes for stabilization required oversight. EarthSearch Incorporated monitored construction for the memorial in 2008, and in the process, fragments from 3 individuals were exhumed and examined. The remains, combined with remains of Charity Hospital Cemetery No. 2, were finally reinterred in one of the mausoleums in 2021. Information provided by NewOrleansHistorical.org. Photos by HMDB.org. The Katrina Memorial sits on a plot once used to bury the poor and didn't by Charity Hospital, and the gates of the memorial still carry Charity's name above them. To the side of the gate is the current name, New Orleans Katrina Memorial. As one enters, a small reminder of Charity sits off to the side, a stone commemorating those who donated their bodies to scientific research after their death. The memorial is built in a huge spiral, the shape of the hurricane itself, and at the center of the spiral, the hurricane's eye, sits a carved stone marker, which reads, on August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall upon Louisiana and Mississippi Gulf Coast, bringing devastation to many communities in New Orleans. Storm surge and the failure of the levee system caused flooding in over 80% of the city, trapping thousands. In the chaotic aftermath, New Orleanians faced desperate circumstances in homes, hospitals, the Superdome, and other makeshift shelters. Despite the heroic efforts of first responders, medical personnel, volunteers, and the military, over 1,100 citizens lost their lives in the disaster. Most of the deceased were identified and buried by loved ones in private ceremonies throughout the nation. Here lie the remaining, the unclaimed, and unidentified victims of the storm from the New Orleans area. Some have been forgotten. Some remain unknown. Around the markers sit stone benches, and beyond these, forming the outer spiral of the storm, are 5 crypts, the final resting place of the bodies of 85 victims of Katrina. The place is still, peaceful, as if the souls of the victims, unidentified for 3 years, are finally mourned and interred, with the jazz music second line, are finally at rest. As I sat on a bench around the marker, preparing my camera equipment, a bird sat in a huge oak tree above the gate, singing to me. It sang for minutes, a constant song rising above the sounds of traffic or the streetcar beyond the memorial gates on Canal Street. Let their souls join into an eternal chorus. Perhaps they have done just that. Information by the NOLAtourguide.com.